Hey guys, welcome to this week's show. With me, as always, Corey, the GM of Saucier Pass.
Woo! Season high winning streak too.
That's enough. We'll talk about the standings after. It's very important that you've been winning these games, right? So, we got a lot to talk about. We have last week's results, some big matchups here, updated standings. I guess we made it 2 weeks in a row where we updated the predictions. Good on us. And we'll talk about this week's matchups. Very big matchups this week. I'm extremely pumped about mine personally, but we'll get to that. So last week, first matchup here, Captain Crunch defeats the Champion 8-6. What do you got to tell me about this one there, Corey?
I mean, look at all the stats. You guys had good goalie weeks for the most part. The players weren't great for either team. I've seen better out of both of your teams. How about that? For me, it'd be a stellar week, okay? But for you guys, I'd say it's below par. But Captain Crunch just sneaking away a win here, so close to a tie.
Should have been a tie. Should have been a win. But Colorado fucked me. It fucked me hard. For those of you who don't know, Colorado had 2 games last week, Tuesday and Friday. Kemper coming off back-to-back shutouts, doesn't get to start on Friday. They give it to Frank Hughes, because that makes sense.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what ended up fucking me, because I lost by a win. I lost by decimals in save percentage. I lost by 13 saves.
It's true. And Crunch has Frank Hughes.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's what hurt.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't understand their logic. Let's not start the starter after 3 days rest coming off back-to-back shutouts. Let's let him cool off a bit and start Frank Hughes. I don't know. I don't get it. But he got the big win last night against Edmonton. So.
Yep.
But it was that close though with me and Domo. A little disappointed, but Matthews missing 2 games for suspension. I seen fines given out for worse, and they're gonna suspend Matthews. Okay, well, whatever. The odds were just against me. Domo works his magic there and pulls out with the victory. That's all right. It was a good week.
It's regular season.
Regular season doesn't matter. I'm clinched. I don't care. Whole Shaft here versus the playoff push is over. Taking it 8-7. This one came out of nowhere. I think it was he was losing on Sunday. He pulls out the win.
I think.
What happened here?
Yeah, Derek put up a decent week. Just wasn't enough to get past Nick. Nick squeezed out a win. His goalies put up great stats for the week. And just 8-7. That's a tight one. We know Derek, if he was active all season, I truly believe his team would be further along in the standings. So, it's not going to be an easy matchup for Nick, in my opinion, but he took over the goalie stats, and that's what mattered. That's helped him get the win. Big shutout. Who got him the shutout? At Colgren. I forgot about that. Colgren shutout. Yeah. Big Toronto pickup. So that's huge. That actually won the week right there.
Derek's one of those GMs I just wish was more active, consistently.
He's very knowledgeable. He knows what he's doing. He puts up solid teams. He drafts well. It's a 24-week league, right? 27-week, whatever you want to say.
By him, he always disappears right until after football season. Him not selling, is it an indication that maybe he's not planning on coming back? Maybe life's too busy now. He has a baby. I don't know. That's what I was kind of thinking. Maybe that's why he's I'm not selling. I'm going to try and go all in, even though it was almost impossible, right?
Yeah.
It was unlikely that he was making it in. I guess we'll see. But this win by Shaft, and combined with my loss, sets us up into a position next week. We play each other next week to finish the season. It could be for the top of the division.
Ooh. And we know how you are the last few weeks of the season.
Here we go. We're setting up a nice final matchup here, right? Pat, you ready to rumble? Picking up a huge victory over Daltrey. Daltrey over Cherry Picking Daddy. Apologies, Daltrey. You're not that bad. 9-3. 9-3. So big win for Patches to stay in the playoff hunt here. Sitting in ninth. What happened here?
Kyle's goalies just didn't show up. Nick's goalies swept through the stats there, and that's really the big difference. Patches getting the crucial win, as we know, for the standings, and I don't think Kyle's too upset with the loss, but
he's looking at that lottery.
Yeah, I think he got it.
No, I think a huge win for Patches. I give credit to Patch. He was selling early on in the season, and then liked what he had and decided, hey, I'm going to go for it, right? So where he looked at where he was, and he's like, I could probably make a run. So good on him. He set himself up for a nice draft, but also to make a playoff run, right? So
make a push, a big win.
Good. I don't know how he does it because I can't do both. I can do one or the other. I set myself up for a draft, or I could just make a push. But
I don't think he expected his goalies to provide him so much value after selling off some, right? So, it's big. If you can do it, he did it early. He played the free agency. He's always active. We know that with Nick. He always puts up teams. So, I mean, we can do a lot with just free agency.
Yeah, you can. Daltrey enjoying his Braden bye week here. 7-4 victory. Big win for him. Pretty much. I mean, he's not clinched yet, but he's pretty much clinched. What happened here?
This it was a pretty close matchup actually. Braden's been sticking around, but Daltrey didn't have a great week. Good thing it was a Braden bye week, because I don't know if he would have beat too many other people. Yeah.
No, big win for Daltrey. Yeah, I don't have much to say about it. Braden bye week. It's expected that you win against Braden.
Should we even talk about
seven people out there right now who are hanging their head in shame. Get off my grass. Defeating Clef bombed 10-3 in I guess it mattered for Dan here to kind of solidify his playoff berth. I don't understand how he's still winning weeks. He sold most of his team, but maybe it's just a favorable schedule. I don't know. But he even held in against Domo, so I can't really say that. What do you think happened here?
I think the big thing for Dan is, how does his goalies come through? That's been the only thing inconsistent really about his team. I find he does a really good job picking up off free agency. He made a lot of moves, but not really near the end of the year. So he kind of sat on some players of value. His goalies had a killer week. Picked up Georgiev, like a 40 save shutout in that game, right? He had 2 shutouts in the week. Just if his goalies show up, I think he could compete in the playoffs a bit. He could upset it. Maybe not the whole thing, but
potential's there for an upset.
Yep.
I mean, first round
where he sits too.
First round, he's right now. He's matched up against Nick right now. Yep. So that could be like a big matchup right there, right? I expect that to change over the next 2 weeks, but never-ending rebuild, losing to Saucier Pass. Big win for you. Why don't you tell me about it?
Yeah, it was a big win. 2 in a row. I think it's my longest winning streak of the season. But it came down to the last night. If Demko had a killer night, put up a shutout, he could have won the week. So
really?
He got pulled on the Saturday after 2, but then they gave him the start on the Sunday. Goalie stats were really close. It just snuck out a win. I didn't put up a really good weekend, but either Travis and thankfully 2 points further away from that golden dick.
Braden's already starting to brag about it now, so
I saw that.
Finally gonna win something. This matchup, huge win for Mark here. 7 on the ice, defeating Please Don't Feed the Goalie 12-1. This is our other inactive GM. Made 3 moves all year. I don't even know if he's still alive. We told him it was trade deadline. He said okay, and then never did any moves. For a guy who's not making the playoffs, that's a big mistake to me. Like, it just seems like he doesn't care about the team. But good for 7 to take him down and keep up the playoff pace. Right, he's sitting in 8th right now, so huge win. What happened here?
Yeah, like I'm going through the stats kind of as we're talking about it. as a good refresher. Man, Mark put up a good week. Yeah, almost every category he did really well in. Like plus
Last
20,
couple weeks, his team's been
plus
on fire.
23, 14 goals, 27 assists, like 2 shorties, 3-game winners. His goalies put up 936 with a shutout. Like if he keeps this up, like that's scary.
He's gonna be dangerous in the playoffs.
Oh,
Right now, lined up with a date with Domo.
I don't know if he puts up with this, he would beat Domo. So just got to
This
make it in.
match, sorry,
Just got to make it in.
that's it. Anything can happen once you get in. I'm hoping him and Patches make it. The guy I hope doesn't make it in this next matchup. JC Petit here pull out a last-minute tie against Neil, 6-6. Keeps himself in a playoff spot because if he didn't get that point, he did not have the tiebreaker on the other teams. He would have been in 9th right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I know it was close. I didn't know who had the tiebreaker though for that 8th spot.
It's more wins, right? So because he had 3 ties at the time, it would have put him on the outside.
So 4 ties, geez.
4 ties. This is good news for Sean because I know he loves having ties, especially in the playoffs. When he's the lower seed here, but big point for him. What do you think happened here?
No, Neil's team didn't come out too hot offensively. Very gritty week for him. And just it was a close match. Like Sean was 1 assist away from taking the week. So, and again, I know we had players playing Sunday night, so it could have been 2 points. I think Neil's happy to get the 1 right now too.
Oh yeah,
not like it really matters to him, but that's a big point for Sean. 2 big teams going at it.
Yeah, I agree. Big week for Sean, sneaking out with a point. Neil, we would have thought we'll talk about that when we talk about the standings here. I guess let's go to the standings now. Neil with that point, even though he hit 27 points, did not clinch. Now that tells me that he doesn't have the tiebreaker on Patch or Mark. Right? It's all those ties. Yep.
So he'd be the 3rd one out.
So if a miracle happened and he loses out and they win out, Neil could find himself out of the playoffs just by the tiebreaker, right? So that's why he didn't clinch. It's unlikely. Neil's probably clinching this week, but that's why he hasn't clinched. But talking about the Division 1 here, I might as well go since I already started talking about Neil. Captain Crunch here retaking 1st overall, sitting at 30 points. He's in no matter what. He's going to finish top 2 seeding, right? Sugmai Ojic pretty much in 27 points. But some movement can be made here, right? Anyone that's not pretty much in 1st can move around right now. So Sugmai Ojic sitting in 4th right now. Dan right behind by 2 points, sitting in 6th. Patches sitting just on the outside at 23 points. Then you got rounding out the bottom here of playoff eliminators here, eliminated.
Officially,
so we got Cherry Picking Daddy, 18 points, not making it. Draft lottery for him. Clef Bomb, 13 points, not making it. Draft lottery for him. Please Don't Feed the Goalie. Same story. Hockey Balboa, though, sitting in last with 11 points. Ooh, like he was talking about earlier, he might have that golden cock.
Yeah, and he's just he's chasing his own division here.
I hope he changes his name to reflect it after.
Get creative.
He's still in striking distance, right? It could still end up in Kyle or Tyler's hands. Use both hands, guys. Use both.
It's a big trophy.
Well, you tell me about Division 2.
Yeah, we got you and Nick clinching the playoffs here. You with 29 points, falling to 2nd, still leading the division. It will be, like you said, a big matchup here with you and Nick. Nick at 27 points. Daltrey on a couple wins in a row here, 26 points. He wasn't as safe before, I'd say. He's in a much better position.
He's
JC
3
Petit,
points up, right? So he's
yeah. But the
probably
other guys have done pretty well winning too, right? So they've been kind of keeping up with them. He's pretty close to safe, I'd say.
yeah.
JC Petit though, only 1 point up over 8th and 9th here with 24 points. Mark with 23. Then we go to the non-playoff teams. Of the playoff push is over, now officially eliminated. 17, so the name is fitting. Travis, 16 points, then me at 14 to round out the bottom of Division 2.
That's it. So good playoff race. Standings are tight. This week's gonna be really interesting, but I think we're all waiting for next week because that's where all the drama will happen.
Yeah.
But some big matches this week that could really cripple some playoff hopes. Yeah.
The thing about last season, I felt there was a lot of people in contention, but a lot of people were not going to make the playoffs. This year, there's a lot of people in contention, but 4 of the 5 are making the playoffs. So at least people are going to be happy.
Yeah. There's only going to be one person disappointed.
Yeah.
And thankfully it's not me.
It's going to be Sean.
Hope so. When we talk about the results here.
Yeah. So you want me to lead it?
Yeah.
So first matchup here, we have you against Domo. Me, you, and Clefbaum going for yourself, getting the loss. Neil and Sean not having faith in Team Ramrod, but getting the win. Then everybody voted for the whole shaft over the playoff push is over. Split vote here with Cherry Pickin' Daddy and Patch Ready to Rumble. Me and you picking Cherry Pickin' Daddy, and me and Kyle picking Cherry Pickin' Daddy, and that was not the case. Getting the loss. Everybody taking the Braden bye week with Daltrey. Only Clefbaum going against Dan here, but he's the only one taking the loss for that week. Everybody else getting the win from Dan. Only you going against me and Travis here. I'm a little surprised more people didn't go for Travis, to be honest, but you know what? Take the love.
He almost pulled it out.
Yeah.
You said it. You got that shutout in the last game.
Yeah, you're right. 100%, except for the worst first period goalie in the league I've heard.
That's what I hear. I hear it daily.
But you got to trade your team for him though.
That's right.
Well, high value.
Those other 2 periods, he's gold.
If he doesn't get pulled.
Yeah.
Everybody going with Seaman on the ice, and he delivered. And only Sean voting for himself here in the last matchup.
They tied though, right? They tied. So this should be.
Oh, was there a correction? Oh no, you know what? I think I assumed he lost because I put Neil as the loss.
So all right, this should actually be a loss.
Oh, I
so
thought
there goes his perfect week.
Oh,
7-1. You should be ashamed of yourself, Sean. 7-1. Pathetic.
You're just as good as Neil. Both of you tied, actually. 7-1 for the week. All right, well, we'll have to update standings then.
It'll just be one off.
Yeah, that's all right. Sean with the big week, though, is squeaking ahead of you here for the top 3 win percentages. Neil's been on quite a tear lately, too. Leading the way, 58.1 in win percentage. Then we got Sean at 56.9, who actually leapfrogged you and Dan, who's at 56.3. So it'll be interesting to see how that one loss affects him, but it's a tight race there. If we're going by win percentage, we got 4 people competing. Neil needs to take a couple losses these last few weeks to really make it interesting. And Daltrey, where the fuck are you?
He's dead to the world.
except for Daltrey Senior. Except for Big Daltrey.
Oh, it's exciting. A little race there. Not as exciting as the playoff race, but
that's all right.
A close second. Let's talk about this week's matchups. So this week there are some big matchups with playoff implication. I was just thinking about it earlier. We'll get to it when we get to well, I guess we'll talk about it now too at the same time. So first matchup here, Le Champion versus JC Petit. Big week for Sean. If he loses, he can find himself on the outside of the playoffs. What do you think is going to happen here?
I'm going to go with you. I can't Can't argue. I'm assuming if your guys were so short man games last week, the schedule most likely will be more favorable to you this week, and Matthew's not suspended. I haven't looked though, to be honest.
Minus
But
13 games. Minus 13 games right now for me.
That's it. Well, Sean doesn't have a good enough team to. He needs more than that. More handicap than that.
I think the advantage would be my goalies. My goalies would be better than his.
Well, Fleury going to Minnesota. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I mean, Talbot got a shutout last night. So
yeah.
Like, what do you do there? You just pulled in a goalie. But I'm still going to go goalie. Yeah.
No, I'm going to agree. I'm going to say Team Ramrod's going to take it. I've been waiting for this week. I'm glad it means like something. Whew, Sean, you beat me. You beat me all the time in the regular season. This is the week where I finally get my revenge and hopefully find yourself out of the playoffs because of me. I would love that. But yeah, good luck, Sean. Next matchup here. Big Daltrey here, Captain Crunch, taking on the playoff push is over. Who do you got here?
I'm gonna go against the board here. I'm gonna go with Derek on this one. He put up a good week last week. I don't think Domo is the team that go super deep. Just because he sold a lot of them. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Derek. I'm gonna go for the upset on this one.
I don't like Domo's goalies.
Yeah.
I really don't. But I'm gonna give him the edge because he is in first. And if I'm playing the odds, like I think he's proven that he barely loses. So he's gonna find a way. He's gonna read the waiver wire here and rate it. And, I think he's gonna pull out the win. So in a matchup that means literally, I guess it does mean something because Tyler's in contention for the Golden Cock. Kyle, the current holder of the Golden Cock, just because he purchased it, is taking on a potential suitor here. Who do you got?
I gotta go with Kyle on this one. Tyler just got demolished last week. I have no reason to believe it's going to do any different this week. Kyle's been putting up decent weeks, so I think you don't need much more than average to beat Tyler, and I think Kyle's going to do it.
I agree. I think hands down Kyle's team's just better, even after selling, and he's the more active GM. So I think Kyle will pick up a win. This one is huge. So what I wanted to say earlier, Sedman versus Daltrey, right? Daltrey has Sean next week.
Oh,
back-to-back losses for Daltrey could see him outside of the playoffs.
If in that that's like two of the worst teams to lose against.
Yeah, because they're the ones right behind you, right?
Yep, like right behind.
Daltrey isn't safe yet. If he can beat Mark, yes, but I suspect, in my opinion, I'm gonna say Mark is probably gonna beat him. Is my prediction. So I think we could see Daltrey in danger as well of missing the playoffs. It could come down to his matchup against Sean, which would be pretty awesome to see. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that'd be a huge matchup if Daltrey got the loss. That puts a lot of pressure on Daltrey too. But I'm definitely going to go with Mark. Mark, the week Mark's team put up last week, I can't go against him.
It's been like 3 weeks in a row his team's been doing that. So
he's been surprising me, and he's made some good moves, and they're working out, and he's sticking with it right now. And I'd like to see him make it interesting with a win here too.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Mark's gonna take it to Daltrey, and I think Daltrey and Sean are gonna be duking it out next week for that last playoff spot. Get off my grass, taking on the never-ending rebuild. Who do you got here?
I'm gonna go to Dan. His goalies are in a better spot now. He had a great week last week, and Travis, you're not going to show up again? Let's keep the slide going. I got to catch you on points. I don't want to be last in Division 2. Only 2 back now.
No, I'm going to agree with you. I think Dan's gonna take it to Travis. There's no reason to start believing now that Travis will start winning. You know, so Dan's a playoff team. Travis isn't. I'm going to go with the odds here. Neil, looking to clinch his playoff spot, has his Braden bye week. Do I even have to ask? Who do you got here? Who do you got?
You know what? It's going to be tight. I think Balboa could upset. No. Neil, buddy. Good luck. Congratulations on clinching a playoff spot. How about that?
Welcome to the playoffs, Neil. That's what I'm gonna say. Yeah. I'm gonna say that, you know, Balboa just doesn't have a chance. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. We've been talking a lot about him this episode, so big matchup here. Your chance to play spoiler. You're taking on Pachareta Rumble, who desperately needs a week against a weak opponent like you, and needs that win though, right? So what do you think is gonna happen here?
I'm gonna go with Nick on this one. Not too often I go against myself. I'm 1-0 against myself this season. But you know what? I think I want to see him win too. I want to see it get interesting. And I think he has a good team too, though. So like, I can't describe his team either. So I'm gonna go with Nick on this one.
A loss for him this week, though, could pretty much end his playoff hope.
Who does he have next week? Do we know?
We'll take a little sneak peek here. After we talk about the next one, I'm gonna say Nick's gonna win though. The last matchup, we got the whole shaft taking on Clef Bomb. Who you got here?
Gotta go with Nick. I don't gotta say a whole lot this. Sorry, Kyle, but
yeah,
standing speak for himself at this point.
100%. Nick setting himself up for a battle with me next week for top of the division. I think he's going to take it to Clef Bomb. And I heard somewhere before that he doesn't respect him as a GM. So
something interesting with you and Nick too is I think if you guys do tie in points, let's say, you'll have the same record. Well, depending if you guys tie this week or not, but like if somebody gets a tie, obviously, but it'll be interesting to see. 14-6-1, 13-7-1, right?
So you were asking about Patches. He's got a never-ending rebuild next week. He's got Travis. So if he should
look at those last three matchups there. So many non-playoffs teams. That's gonna be a good week.
Well, he should have a cakewalk into the playoffs theoretically, right? He has you and Travis, right? Mark has Cherry Picking Daddy next week, so a non-playoff team, a competitive non-playoff team. Though.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
and same with Dan too. Dan. Derek, right? Derek could pull up a win for sure there.
You got Daltrey versus JC Petit, which will be a great matchup because that's probably going to determine one of their playoff hopes. You got the Champion versus the whole shaft here for the top of Division 2. Then you got the top two teams in Division 1 playing each other as well. So
and then a just as big matchup right below you for bottom of the barrel. Hockey Balboa.
Yeah, if he can pull out that win against him, he wouldn't have the tiebreaker. He doesn't have enough wins. He's got too many ties. He needs to win this week, and
he needs a point this week then, or else he gets a point. Yep.
He's not likely to get it.
No, exactly. Yep.
That's too bad for him, but no, he's been in the league since the beginning. He's an OG, and he's gonna have the OG Caucasaurus. So, but I'm excited for next week's matchups. I'm not looking past this week though. Keep that in mind. I'm still watching this week. Some interesting matchups this week. But I think next week, last week of the season, things get really exciting. And then we got playoffs, and once you make playoffs, it's first to win 3.
Exactly. Yeah, it's only 3, so
yeah, but you got to win 3 in a row.
Now the NHL trade deadline just passed. Who do we got here that actually had some changes to the roster? So like I know
any
Fleury,
of the big names,
Fleury went to Minnesota.
That's good for Sean.
Big. Yeah, like they're a defensive team, so that could be valuable, especially with Binnington on the outs right now. Right?
Oh yeah, they were shopping him around.
I heard that too. Yeah, couldn't even get any buyers. Jeez.
Cherry Picking Daddy has Giroux, so
Mhm.
That'd be good for him, maybe to play spoiler.
Yep.
Now, the
There
other
wasn't a
big,
whole lot of. There wasn't much, eh?
there wasn't big deals. There were a lot
No.
of like okay deals, like little small deals, but nothing that screamed like, oh my god, this is a blockbuster, right?
Yeah.
Trade deadline was actually pretty quiet.
There were some players that were moved for more than I expected, but I think there wasn't much out there, so whatever there was, you had to pay for.
I was shocked that Kessel didn't get moved.
Kessel?
He's on an expiring contract.
How much though?
Well, the cap hit would have been 3.5 if they kept half of it.
Oh, okay. That's not the worst.
Oh, for a guy who has playoff experience, like I'm just surprised that he didn't get moved for anything.
Yeah. You
No?
can just throw him on the power play. Who cares?
Yeah, that's what I was telling Travis. Like, you don't need him to play on any of the lines. Here's your
No.
power play specialist. Go score some goals.
Yep.
Eat some hot dogs. Like,
No,
yeah.
it was kind of a dry trade deadline, right? But I mean, you're not moving raw star players typically a deadline anyway. So
A lot of re-signings though,
yeah, I saw that too.
or even players who got traded and then signed.
Yeah,
So-
somebody signed a massive one after.
Lindholm,
Yeah. Oh,
Kotkaniemi, he
signed an 8-year
re-signed.
extension. Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that. That was big. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot. I think the Fleury one is huge for Sean if he makes the playoff. If he makes the playoffs,
They got a great price on him though. It's a conditional pick. It's not even a first unless they make the conference finals.
and that's a win to them probably.
But that makes you question it too, because he has to play at least 4 games in the first 2 rounds. So is he just there as security?
I mean, Talbot has been rocky lately.
He has
Even
been.
Hakkinen has been getting starts over him.
So it makes you think that yes, Fleury's the guy, but why do you have that in there? You don't think he's gonna play 4 games in the playoffs? Like, especially if you're making it to the conference finals? Like, I don't know. It's just a weird stipulation.
It's
Maybe if he
more
gets
of like,
hurt.
yeah, I was gonna say it's like an injury protection.
Yeah.
Oh well. No, that's good.
Yeah. Well, that's the show for the week, guys. Big week this week. Thanks, Corey, for joining me.
No, thanks for having me. It's always fun.
Always fun. We'll have a great time next week here, predicting the final week. I'm just excited to get through this week, but I'm not taking anything for granted here. I got a slow defeat of Sean here going, so I want to make sure he knows every step of the way.
Are we doing predictions based on playoffs as well?
We'll do
Or is it regular
playoff.
season? Yeah, I
We'll do a
figured.
playoff one.
Yep. Okay. I didn't know if we were adding that into the standings. That's all. I figured we were going to do it regardless. But
There's only like 6 of us playing, so yeah, we could do
yeah.
that. But good luck everyone this week, and some of you I'll see in the playoffs. Others, no.
See you at the draft.
Yeah, see you at the draft. The other ones.